Okay, friends. Hi, welcome. Welcome to Talking with French People. I'm host Eric. I'm live streaming. Cameron's coming over. He's gonna say it's gonna be like an hour, so I gotta wait for him. So this is my waiting for Cameron live stream. I'll be waiting for Cameron, live streaming it. It's gonna be pretty exciting. If you've never seen anybody wait for Cameron before, this is your opportunity to wait for Cameron with me. We're playing Waiting for Cameron. If you haven't heard, pretty exciting. It's a fun game. If you don't love the game called Waiting for Cameron, you're doing it wrong, I guess is a good way to put it. Anyway, right now we're waiting for Cameron. And in the process of doing so, I'm going to pull this bong rip from my hat. I'm going to pull a bong rip out of my hat. Here we go. If you've never waited for Cameron before, this is a treat that you're not going to soon forget. This is what you do when Cameron's not here yet and you're waiting for him. Is you sit here, you pull some bong rips, you chat on the internet, you make hay. When life gives you lemons, you make hay, you know? That's what I do anyway. When life gives me lemons, I make hay out of them. I make hay. There's a little something I call coffee. I got a pot of it going in there. I'm seriously considering refreshing my cup with some more warm coffee. There's either nobody here or just one person. I'm not sure if it counts me as a person or not. If it does count me as a person, then there's me here. But I think I've seen 0 plenty of times, so probably it doesn't count me as a person. Which means, like, I don't know, probably some spite monkey who constantly is watching. You know, I thought it was amusing that Tori showed up earlier in the live stream. Like, the galls. The Seneca Honey's on that one. After all the shit she's pulled. Boy. She is certainly not in any position to express any moral outrage about anything. Or express any requirements or requests for anything at all. You know, but she doesn't seem to guess see it that way. It's like, you don't go to, like, a restaurant that you owe $1,000 to and say, hey, you forgot to give me a straw. You know, it's ridiculous. Anyway. Obviously, that's not the topic of this video. This video is about waiting for Cameron. And if you've never waited for Cameron, what it's like, how exciting it is, all the things you can learn when waiting for Cameron. You can learn about bananas. You can learn about tropical plants of all sorts, really. I really don't like the sound of lawnmowers, which is what's going on right now nearby. One of the neighbors is mowing their lawn. It's like, come on, bro. Come on. You're harshing my mellow, bro. Anyway, some bro holland is out there harshing my mellow right now. Yeah, looks like the neighbors behind me have the gardener scheduled for Saturday. Wow. I say this qualifies as another one of my very serious first world problems. If I were Andy Rooney, I might say, Don't you hate it when the gardeners come to the neighbor's house on Saturday afternoon? You're just sitting down to enjoy a cup of coffee and do some live streaming when all of a sudden, this incurable racket from outside. Don't you just hate that? I do. I'm Andy Brody. Don't you hate it when the neighbors have their chainsaws out and they're chopping everything into pieces and you're standing there and wood's flying and hitting you in the face? I hate that. Who are you voting for or voting? Well, I don't know who the two candidates are yet. There are a couple of candidates I might vote for, and there are a couple of permutations of which I might, for the second time of my life, not vote. Beats chainsaws. Is that a stage direction? I don't really support any of the existing candidates. I mean, I support my candidacy to the extent that it exists because it's the only correct candidacy. But beyond that, there are people that I am willing to vote for as the lesser of two evils, and there are situations in which the two evils are so evil that I'm not willing to vote for either of them. So it depends how the primaries play out, I guess. I'm not a fan of anybody in particular. You know, except for your mom, Fussology. I'm a fan of her. I'm a fan of your mom's sweet, sweet ass. That's for sure. Who wouldn't be a fan of that? Ethan McDonald's can get a high five. High five, bro. We're both fans of Fussology's mom's sweet, sweet ass. What do you think, Fussology? Does that answer your question? Yeah, it does. Ooh, to the law, to the Lizzo. Can I give you a rundown of my major policies? I mean, can you give me policy areas you'd like me to address? Regarding immigration, I've got a fairly middle of the road stance on it. And the thing is, to answer these kind of questions, remember, I'm the president. I'm not there to write legislation. So, well, healthcare, for example, we have it upside down. The correct position would be if you're going to mandate that people are required to have health insurance, you require them to have the equivalent of major catastrophic liability insurance. That is to say, make sure if they come down with cancer that somebody other than the federal government is paying for it. Make sure that they're insured for that. And don't have it be the other way around, where suddenly people are required to buy health insurance policies that are required to cover all kinds of various shit that most people don't want. And that raises costs for everybody, obviously. It's silly. We don't need another massive bill that covers every possible contingency in the world. We need some single issue bills that address things one at a time, that don't go crazy with their ambitions. And we need to remember what the job of the president is, right? Yeah, it's not to write new legislation. It is not to write bills and pass them into laws. The president's job is to sign such as he sees fit or not refuse to sign. And the thing is, I'm not going to desk veto shit either. I will veto it. I mean, I might desk veto a few things, but I will genuinely veto it. I will make clear my position on everything. And when I do veto it, I will issue a extensive set of arguments as to why I have vetoed it or why I've signed it. You know, I'll explain exactly why. And we'll be able to argue back at me, and that's fine. I do believe in cutting taxes in general, not just for the rich. I believe we should eliminate the capital gains tax for sure. It's fundamentally unfair. Money that's been invested in produced capital gains has already been taxed, and the person chose to invest it. It shouldn't be taxed again. It's bullshit. It's fundamentally unfair. So we need to get rid of. Plus, it locks money into things for extended periods of time unnecessarily. Presumes to do the opposite. So we need to eliminate capital gains taxes entirely. Regarding the environment, I'm generally for relatively strict federal regulations on environmental stuff when they make sense. I mean, I agree. We shouldn't have, like, for example, the amount of spending that the federal government does is outrageous. Outrageous. Look, there's an upside down pyramid here. The people who get most of your tax money should be the most local form of government. The people who get the least of your tax money should be the most further away form of government. And instead, it's the other way around. It's insane. That's not what the federal government is supposed to be doing. The federal government is taking from most citizens something along the lines of half of their total income. But with the 33% taken from Social Security and, figure another 12, 15, 17% in taxes, you're losing half of your income to government. It's ridiculous. There's no reason for this. Social Security has mission creep, and so it's turned into disability, and it's not supposed to be that, and never was intended as that, and of course, it's going insolvent as a consequence. Common sense. I mean, a little common sense. That's all. Look, we're going to all have to be comfortable with carrying some debt for a while. We're not going to solve the debt problem right away. Keep in mind that a lot of that debt is owned by the U.S. people, and regardless, that we own a lot of foreign debt as well. So let's not make too big of a deal about the debt. I do agree we should be making it smaller, not bigger, obviously. Regularly spending more than we're bringing in is not a good idea. It's silly. It's a bad idea. We shouldn't be doing that. It's obviously not sustainable. Well, it is irrational to spend more than you bring in year after year after year, building up a massive debt. That's irrational. It's also irrational to think we're going to get rid of it in one fell swoop. We're going to have to be comfortable carrying some debt, but we should be making it smaller, not bigger. That's rational. It is common sense as well. People who don't agree with that are being irrational, are guilty of not having common sense. It's like, that's not something that I can avoid. I can't avoid that being common sense. It is. Hi, Sarah ISFP. The country cannot continue to spend more than it brings in year after year and expect everything to be fine forever and have that be sustainable. It's just not the way debt works. So we're going to need to take a different approach to it a little bit. But it's also the case that we have obviously survived just fine carrying this amount of debt thus far. There's no disputing that fact. So we can carry debt for some time, and we shouldn't anticipate that we direct all of our resources towards debt reduction right away. That would be foolish as well. This is the sort of not middle of the road. Like on these issues, it turns out I am middle of the road. It's incidental to the fact that on these issues, middle of the road is correct. Middle of the road is not always correct. And I'm not going to side with the thing that's in the middle just because it's in the middle. I'm going to side with the thing that's correct. In this instance, the thing that's correct is in the middle of the road. Cameron is my ISTJ friend, Cameron. He kind of looks like me a little bit, except he's a little less pointy and he's got glasses. He's got kind of similarly baldingness to him. He greets me typically with his greeting, Hola Senor, or sometimes I guess it's Hi Senor or Hello Senor. He'll usually greet me thusly. He's been around the channel for a long time. You know, he's the illustrator of Spud Brow Spree. The video Spud Brow Spree is a video that I made from a poem that I wrote, which I turned into a song and a video. Okay. And he did all the drawings in the video of it. And it's basically how I started hanging out with Cameron. He was on Facebook and he put up a couple drawings that he did, and he said, "Hey," I said, "Hey, you know, I'm looking for a drawing person for this project I want to do with this song I have." And he was down. And I will look for the video so I can link it here, okay? And that video was a video called Spud Brow Spree. And here it is. I'll put the link to it.
The courteous potato men politely sell potato skin.
It is a video in which those drawings and everything that I was just talking about are. Okay. We should start a coven. Okay, so Sarah, Isaac, you, me, Cameron, Rachel, Ethan McDonald, Fossology. How many more do we need to be a coven? We need a total of 13, right? I don't think we have enough people here. We can start a half coven. Okay, now we can definitely start a half coven. If we got 6 people plus me, that's 7 people. We need 6.5 to make half a baker's coven. We can make it bigger than 13. Look, all I know is I want to have at least a baker's coven, which is 13. And any more than that, it's just bonus. Half coven. Demi coven. It's called the demi coven half calf. Yes, you count as one, for sure. I mean, but each of your ferrets may count as like half a person, maybe, or 0.25 of a person. I'm not sure. What's it called? It's called Talking with Famous Coven. Obviously. A baker's coven in parentheses, okay? Next to it. Talking with Famous Coven, a baker's coven is in parentheses. A baker's coven being 13 and 13/100ths of a thing is a baker's coven. Witches get stitches unless they're in ditches, in which case the witches get riches instead. That's the old saying. Cheaper by the coven indeed. You know, I read that book when I was a kid. My mom, it was one of my mom's favorite books, I guess, from her childhood. I read it. Yeah, that book plays a role in my family history. So anyway, we're a double calf half coven. Okay? Double half calf. Can I get a double half calf, please? Can you make half calf for me, but then twice as strong as that in the caffeine? The one part of that movie that I really did enjoy a lot, Rachel, I should direct this to you directly first, but to everybody else, Rachel had me watch and comment upon this movie called Book Smarts. It's, I believe, Tiberius Mononoke called it that movie about 2 lesbians who aren't funny, which I thought was pretty funny. It's really only about 1 lesbian. But anyway, let's see. Book Smarts, right. What I wanted to say about it, one of my favorite parts about it was the part when they get in the pizza guy's car and and they're trying to like rob him with their hair over their face. I don't know, that was pretty funny. And he's like an INTJ, you know. He's such an INTJ. The pizza delivery guy is such an INTJ. Oh, right. But the what I was getting at was this. I like the part where somebody's ordered 2 half cheese and half sausage pizzas. Two large half cheese and half sausage pizzas. And he goes, "That's just 1 large cheese and 1 large sausage, you idiots." You know, that made me laugh. What are the rules of the coven? Rule number 1, no witchcraft. Witchcraft is not allowed, okay? Nice hat, bro. Where's my hat? I don't see any hat. I don't have a hat on my head. No witchcraft, okay? No witchcraft allowed in this coven. Rule number 2, no hats. No hats allowed, no witchcraft, no hats. Rule number 3, everybody has to bring their own piñata. I don't want anybody mooching off my piñata, okay? I filled it with candies that I like. You guys can all hit it with a stick, but only I am allowed to collect the candy from it, okay? Everybody has to bring your own piñata. This is a BYOP party. Nobody's going to be mooching off anybody else's piñatas, okay? If you and a friend want to share a piñata, that's fine. You arrange that beforehand. Make sure I don't want any arguments about whose piñata it is. That's one of the rules of the coven. All right? So, IC2 Winars 08. Did you bring a ceremonial frog? Coke? You mean Coca-Cola or cocaine? The answer is yes, regardless. If you're going to bring Coke, bring enough for everybody. Coca-Cola. If you're going to bring cocaine, it's fine if you just bring enough for me. Me and Rachel, if she wants. Rachel doesn't want that. Yeah. It's not good. It's not good for her. It's not good for me either. That's why I have to do it if it appears, because I can't let her get debased by that awfulness. Say what you mean about ISTPs. Say what you mean. What did Rachel say about ISTPs? The ones I know don't talk very much, but are very good at mechanical things, not necessarily sports. Otherwise, seems like a cool type to be. It does seem like a cool type to be. Everybody wants to be an ISTP. It seems like a lot of characters in some movies and stuff are ISTPs. You know, it's not a good type for a super metaphysical type to be in a relationship with. Rachel and I are both very metaphysical types, so we don't quite understand ISTPs, you know. Oh, right, yeah. It's not a very good drug. I'll be honest. Not a fun drug. Not a drug worth doing. Almost every Ryan Gosling character is an ISTP. Also, you know, a lot of any of your strong silent types, those are your ISTPs. Either steel or iron cauldrons, no brass or copper cauldrons. Cedric, what metal is that cauldron made out of? Platinum. Hambone, do we have a rule on platinum? Cedric brought a platinum cauldron. Is that acceptable? Are platinum cauldrons acceptable? I forget. Can you check the rule book for me? I'm not sure it says anything about that. We might have to make a rule about that. I'm not sure. Right now, we're going to let it slide until I hear back from Hambone as to whether your platinum cauldron is allowed. Cedric Beachy. Ethan McDonald. You got Iron Good. Rachel Lapalosa. You got iron and steel. Nice. You brought both. Good. Sarah, steel. Good. Hambone, iron and steel. Good. Winston's mom, iron and steel. Good. Oh, so you're standing out now, Cedric. You're the only one with platinum. Okay, so you're going to be limited on which kind of potions you can make in that cauldron there, Cedric. You can only make platinum needing recipes. Things that have to be made in a platinum cauldron. Like, for example, platinum love potion requires to be made in a platinum cauldron and requires that it be made in a platinum cauldron in a way that creates a massive magical fire hazard. So that's a really weird exception because it's both. You know, it both does require platinum and creates a magic fire hazard. The rules are in a conundrum. They don't know what to do about it. It's a rules conundrum. It's a rules catch-22. Magnesium? Ooh. The only kind of cauldrons that you can use that have magnesium in them must also be sponsored by Milk of Magnesium. I think that's that's in there, isn't it, Hambone? I think so. I'm pretty sure you can only use magnesium cauldrons if they're sponsored by Milk of Magnesium, and then be prepared, they will catch on fire. So, ooh, that's bad. They'll catch on real fire instead of magic fire. Platinums catch on magic fire. See? Well, you see, I keep trying to use my wooden cauldrons. I have yet to get one to work properly. Every time I'm about to finish cooking the potion, I burn a hole through the cauldron. It's ridiculous. It's like, why can't someone make some wood that doesn't burn? We could call it rocks or something. On ESTJ, that's not a good magical conductor. You try to make a cauldron out of an ESTJ, you're going to have a badly burned ESTJ and some fizzled magic, let me tell you. Swift Eagle, you can't make cauldrons out of ESTJs or any other people. They're too smushy. You gotta have something like harder, like a rock or metal or something, or wood. That's what I keep trying to use. Oh, you have a metaphysical cauldron. I can see it fine. I can see it, and I can see it's shoddily made. Is that Adobe? Did you use metaphysical Adobe in making your cauldron, Sarah ISFP? You mixed straw with your own poo. Sarah, that's not how you make Adobe. That's oh my God, the stench. Everybody get away from Sarah's cauldron. She's made it out of human feces. No, that's not Adobe, Sarah. God. You got to use like cow poop or something. You can't use human poop. Jesus. Iron's fun to lift. It does make a good soup. You need a lot of iron in your diet. Well, they're not accusing you of killing anybody, Cedric. They're accusing you of killing cereal. They're accusing you of putting that bowl of cereal to bed in the morning and saying, you are going into my stomach. Get in there. Iron is for portions that can be made in very short time, less than a few hours. Steel is better for longer brews. Oh, I see. Okay. What about wood, Hambone? What about wood? That's what I want to know. What about my wooden cauldrons? I am trying to launch a line of cauldrons that are made out of wood. They're disposable cauldrons. They're single-use disposable cauldrons. They come prepackaged with all the ingredients. They're like basically K-cups of witchcraft, okay? I'm talking about something that can really, change witchcraft, make it accessible to the average party, the average populace. It is literally, that's what it is. It's the K-cup of cauldrons. Made out of woods, already filled in with the magic ingredients. You just add water and, you heat it in the microwave, I guess. But the problem is most properly executed cauldron recipes do require the application of direct heat to the cauldron. And that's where, well, that's where I get into trouble with my product here that keeps catching on fire. So, any advice? Any advice for my disposable cauldron industry from anybody would be greatly appreciated. Joe Moran, hi. You seem suspicious, Joe Moran. I'm suspicious of you. Aluminum or tin might work. Okay, that's good. I like the way you're thinking. At least you're thinking out of the box now. What about cardboard? How about cardboard? No? Oh, I see. Cereal is not a dry good because it starts with an S now? How does any work in ESTJ? I talk, you listen. Hear more of my things. It's really, that's what it is. My NE is a little more nuanced than that. I like to exchange back and forth with the chat. I don't want to just talk and have everyone listen quietly and take notes or whatever. I want more interface. 8-slot FE means interface is only useful insofar as it serves the TE. And the extroverted intuition, therefore, is indulgent in its FE seizures, I guess you would say. So here at Wooden Cauldron Industries, we are at an impasse. Everybody loves our wooden cauldron idea, but they keep catching on fire. Okay, well, let's look at it from the other angle. Is there any way to activate spells in the microwave, or do we have to have fire? That's been a big impediment to our progress here. If we can just get microwavable magic, well, I mean, if I could figure out how to do it, Cedric Beach, yeah, but there's a lot of people out there that buy it. I should ask Cameron what kind of cauldron he has. I'm assuming he's down to be in the coven. Yeah, we have excellent insurance, of course. I am, after all, a licensed metaphysician. So whenever you have a licensed metaphysician on board, then it's easy to get great coverage. Hot Rock in a Cardboard Cauldron. Great name for a play. Great Broadway smash. Somebody's talking Broadway smash. I think it's Hambone. I think it is. He's talking Broadway smash hit. It's a Broadway play about a guy who starts a business for disposable cauldron magic by putting hot rocks in cardboard cauldron, and it's called Hot Rock in a Cardboard Cauldron. It's a smash hit, Tony's galore. How would you feel, Hambone, if you were standing someplace and it was raining, but it wasn't clouds raining raindrops on you? Instead, no, it was fans raining Tony Awards on you. How would you feel then? How would you feel? Would you feel at last realized, actualized, optimized your true self? Your true Tony Award winning self? I hope so. I think it's cockamamie, meowdy meow. You would feel magical. You'd feel magical. You'd feel like, oh my God, the Tony Awards. What do I think about IQ? I think whatever. I mean, I think whatever about it. What am I supposed to think about it? What's it supposed to tell us? What am I supposed to take away from some number about me that is especially meaningful? I think IQ is a test that people with a certain kind of smartness came up with to make themselves feel superior to people who have less of that kind of smartness. You're going to put all the Tonys in your platinum cauldron wash them with Dove soap and call it a day. That's the epitaph you want on your gravestone? Okay, Hambone, if you insist, that's what you'll get then. I just don't want to be on my deathbed and say, I just wish I could have just one Tony Award. How many people do you think that's their deathbed? Their deathbed lament, right? My life was wonderful, and I love all of you, family, and everything. But my one great regret in life is that I never won a Tony Award. And then they die. Forward my mail here on your tombstone. Well, Cedric, I guess if by that you mean you were correct, I've understood what it means to frame things by a utility or not, then you're right. I do understand the difference between framing things by a utility and not. And if you're suggesting that I prioritize another kind of framing than yours, you're right. If you are additionally suggesting that your kind of framing is superior to mine, you're not only wrong, you're in the wrong place to be that kind of wrong, because I'm well equipped to shove that particular wrongness right back up the old buttocks. So don't get too cheeky there, Cedric. Okay? Yeah, your utility frame is obvious. Thank you. It smells a little bit. Note, of course, Cedric, the problem with your utility frame is it doesn't legitimize anything. Partner. Wendy Wexler-Westland understands the need to pass the Duchy to which side now? It's not to the right-hand side, Cedric Beachy, no matter how useful that might be. It's to the left-hand side, because it's righteous, just, and free. Don't make me rhyme my sassy retorts at you now, Cedric Beachy, because I can, I will, and I'll show you how. Thanks. Thanks, Wendy Wexler-Westlawn. I appreciate you're made of Teflon. What? Bring it now. Can I get a what? First I shall raise the roof, and then I shall let it fall. First I shall guide the people, both short and tall. Bringeth you mine rhymes from up on high, and evoke from you the questions, why? I'll answer all your questions, and then I'll answer more. And when you think I'm done, there's more yet still in store. Until at last there's not. And then again, I'm done. And you'll say, God damn, that Eric most certainly has won. Amen. If only everybody interacted in sassy rhymes, I'd be so well equipped for success in life. Here's a high question for you. How do you know you exist? Here's a higher question for you. Why do I care if I know I exist? Or more properly, why do I need to know I exist? Or why is it necessarily the case that I do know I exist? What does existing have to do with knowing existence exists? You know? You see, it's like I'm going to behave as though I exist regardless of what I know. You might say behaving as though you do something is the same as knowing it, but it's not the same as knowing it. It's the same as assuming it. I'm comfortable with the reality that I have to have assumptions. I'm not comfortable with the reality that that allows you to confer onto me some link from those assumptions to knowledge, because I reject that conferred link until you establish it, but you haven't. Powdy, powdy, pow, 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 pow. That's how you pow, right there. Well, you're the one who used the verb know. You asked me, how do I know I exist? I said, how do you know I exist? Why must I know I exist to behave as though I exist? And isn't there some sort of distinction between assumption and knowing? Certainly the words have distinct meanings. If you're saying those distinct meanings in the words don't reference actual distinctions in reality, then perhaps we can come up with a counterexample. I am full of pep, and it's only because I have had a good sleep. I must have slept my full sleeps off, I guess. I don't know, because I have no Adderall in me, and I am chock full of pep. I am peppy as a pep-producing pep machine. You can see it in my step. It's chock full of pep. I'm a pep. You can tell. I've been curious about my weakest function. Hang it here. I don't like that kind of body and innuendo. And I told you before, I don't like you referring to your own genitals as your weakest function. It's really self-loathing. Oh, I'm sorry, you weren't talking about that. I joke, I jest, I kid. I kid, I joke, I jest. My pep 2 is not abysmal. My pep toe is not my toe. Therefore, my pep toe 2 is neither abysmally my toe nor totally my abysmal. Think about it is. Think about it. What is the utility of the IQ test? I mean, in theory, I suppose it could be used to assist in tracking students, but it's not. That might be good. Drawing distinctions between the self and others on sort of this broad intelligence metric. It doesn't validate against anything other than the predictions it finds that it validates against, which, you know, doesn't establish any kind of causal relationship necessarily, but whatever. It's not like causality is such a holy grail. Why is 6 such a common Enneagram type? I guess it's past looking. I was thinking that, you know, 7 is present looking, 5 is future looking, 6 is past looking. I don't know if that makes good sense or not. Okay, but how do you define intelligence, Cedric? Are you defining it as something distinct from the IQ test that the IQ test is measuring? If so, what's its distinct definitional scope? And why does it have that distinct definitional scope? And you see what I'm saying? It's like, it's circular. It's not really testing anything specific. And in fact, if you look at IQ tests, they're probably testing general competency with several manners of attention, and not drawing clear enough distinctions. and making it some sort of a composite IQ score when it's not really a good measure of intelligence, because intelligence is more situational than that, and its forms of intelligence are more narrow than that. Anyway, I think 5 is future, 6 is past, and 7 is present. The thing about 7s is we're very present focused. What do we feel like doing right now is very much paramount in our attention. IQ is correlated with brain size. But isn't it the case that it's actually correlated with surface area and not with brain size? It's correlated with surface area, not with brain size. Same difference, says Cedric Beachley. No, it's not. Not the same difference. It's a different difference. Okay, so what? So what's your point, Cedric? What's your point about it? So let's say you're right that it fills in as a rough proxy for intelligence as it is commonly used connotatively or denotatively or whatever. So what's your point? What's the great value of IQ? Tell me about it. Make your case instead of just playing. You mean you don't know this incredible thing I'm not telling you? Which is a game I don't much enjoy. So spit it out. What's your point? What's the great value of IQ? Share with us the wisdom of the IQ test. You can't tell if you're 7 or 9? Well, is there something else you're supposed to be doing right now? Nine is lazy and complacent. 7 is hyperactive and stimulation seeking. I'd like to think I'm lazy and stimulation seeking, Ethan. What does that make me? An 8? I split the difference. Okay, so what? IQ is inheritable. So what? So what's your point? I'm lazy and hyperactive, but I'm not complacent. I am stimulation seeking, though. Lazy, though, I'm also that too. I'm energetic and slothful. You are, Sarah ISP. I'm energetically slothful. Energetically slothful is hard to say. Energetically slothful? Yeah, it's not too bad. Energetically slothful. Energetically slothful. That's what I am. I'm energetically slothful. At my best moments, I'm enthusiastically slothful. In my least comfortable moments, I'm energetic and prevented from being slothful. I'm in it. I'm not able to sloth properly. Ethan McDonald, welcome to the Actor Club. You are what's known as an action type. Welcome. Great to meet you. Great to meet you over here in Action Town. Welcome to being an action type. It's nothing but non-stop action around here. It's lazy stimulation seeking. It's a recipe for drug addiction and other such things. Welcome. I'm going to go smoke a cigarette. I can't sit still for 5 minutes, So I'm going to go smoke a cigarette real quick. You guys hang out here, okay? Welcome to Action Town. Non-stop action. That's why I'm going to smoke a cigarette. Not enough action over here. I need to go stand over there. I'm going to stand over there and have fun in Action Town. Okay, Ethan, well, we may have established it already, but I'm reestablishing it, okay? I'm reestablishing it with my action. I'm an action guy. All right, I'm taking action. You just sit there and have action taken at you, okay? I'm taking action at you, and you just be okay with it. As somebody noted in the live chat, I am full of pep. Better watch out. When I've got this much pep, it's explosive. Could get all over you. When I've got this much pep, they call me a one-man pep rally. Host Eric, one-man pep rally is a good name for this video. Okay? Because you're feeling it. You're feeling the pep right now. I'm rallying up your pep with my own pep. It's like, you think you're done being pepped? Oh no, it's pepper time. Here comes the pep. Pep, pep, pep. Pep, 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 pep. Like that. That's how much pep you're getting. Oh. I guess I am a little bit hyper right now. Just bringing this much pep. I don't mean to make everybody sneeze. There's a reason they call me the one-man pep rally. I guess I had fun over there. If a trait is heritable, then it has a biological component. Well, I mean, look, human beings are fundamentally half animals and half creatures of metaphysics. And so there's going to be some linkage back and forth that one can identify, but that doesn't mean it's causally exclusive. It doesn't justify any sort of determinist conclusions. We can falsify determinism quite easily. If that's where you're going with this. If you're trying to make that argument, it doesn't make any sense at all. You're not really arguing anything concrete here. You're saying that because there's some sort of physical or concrete link, it's the explanation for something. It doesn't work like that. A lot of things don't causally reduce in that fashion. Yeah, IAG last, but I figured out where he's going with this now. So he's making a determinist argument. So, taking a stab here at figuring out where he's going. Probably right. Cedric? I find moving around cures your brain fog. Are you sure that you understand that a brain fog correctly, that it might not actually be a problem you need to cure? It might be a more optimal state of being in which you're less bothered by things that are otherwise potentially bothersome. Could be. I don't want to encourage sloth. It is a good idea to get a little exercise sometimes. But like the last couple of days, I've really been having a foggy mountain breakdown, which means I've been just sort of fogging out here in this bed, getting up, You know, making a live stream, going back to bed, making another live stream, going back to bed, yeah. But, time reveals to me new moments with new inclinations and new attitudes. And it's like, I feel pretty rested up at the moment. I don't doubt that later tonight I'll be ready for another good night's sleep. I will say this particular strain of weed seems quite sleep inducing, more so than most. It is kind of chilly today as well. I don't think anybody made any determinist arguments, Ethan. I was anticipating that that's where Cedric was going with that. I could be wrong, but I probably am right, and I just anticipated that's where he was going and spiked it out. Now, if I am in fact right, it would be great if Cedric could go, yeah, you nailed it, Eric. That's where I was going with that. That'd be very gratifying for me. But, Ethan, it's cold. Instincts, argumentational instincts. Cedric Beachy, I want you to read that ridiculous paragraph to yourself. So your IQ test was successfully used to prove that you're lazy. Good? Is that what you're trying to tell me? That you're glad because an IQ test successfully shows that you are lazy? Well, I'm glad that proves that. Now, whether or not that does actually justify extra accommodations is an open question. But that is silly. So silly. I mean, just so silly. Look, IQ tests are great. I used an IQ test to prove I'm lazy, which, gets me stuff. What? You don't need a test to prove to yourself you're lazy. I know I'm lazy. I call myself lazy. I don't need a test to prove that. Oh, I didn't want to get into determinism. I am too lazy to get into it right now. I guess I missed the mark on where you were going with that. I'm lazy. I'm lazy like blazing is blazy. Like I phased in to Macy's to purchase some I don't know what else should I do with that. I have a high IQ and I'm getting B's. Oh, you need extra help then. How about you need to try harder? You thought about that? It sounds like to me. Sounds like Cedric needs to try a little harder. No. Can't be that. There's got to be some sort of problem that we got to fix with something. He can't be possibly responsible to try harder. That can't. What? Or Cedric, maybe it's possible also that the thing you weren't succeeding enough at it because it's not worth succeeding at. Have you considered that? Maybe your inner self goes, this is dumb. That's possible too. Maybe you're right. Maybe it is dumb. Maybe you're trying to get yourself to do some dumbass shit. It's dumb. You don't like it. That's possible. Yep, 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 yep. I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. It's 4:20. Don't ever take it then, Rachel. It doesn't matter. It's a stupid thing anyway. I don't know what my number is. I've taken like a couple online things a long time ago, but who cares? So pointless. It's 4:20. It's time before I wrap it up to pull a bong rip, that's for sure. Remember, Rachel, you and I are on an adjusted clock. Cedric Beachy, this is what I think about that. This is what I think about that. This is what I think about that. Uh-huh. It's like I can read your okay, so maybe you don't, it's not something that's engaging enough to you fundamentally. It just doesn't interest you enough. You know? Maybe life in general doesn't interest you enough. That's why I have a prescription for Adderall. You don't hear me trying to convince people I'm somehow, learning disabled. Come on now. Come on, Cedric. Look at this conversation you're having with me. Nothing wrong with you. You gotta be effing kidding me. There is nothing wrong with you, Cedric. Meowity, meow, meagity mew, meowgity meow is what I have to say about that, Cedric. You heard all those words. There's no denying the truth of them. You got a lot of M's, a lot of yes, and all sorts of things. You made me miss 420. It's now 422. I'm going to have to take at least 2 bong rips now as a consequence. It's all your fault, Cedric. It's all your fault. The only thing wrong with you is your SE polar. Well, well, well. That was quite a bong rip you've taken there, Eric. Yes, it was. Mr. Narrator, yes, it was. I like having a narrator follow me around to narrate what it is I'm doing. Zaylen Black, you don't believe that stuff, okay? You don't believe that stuff. Magnet of fluid dynamics. Who's a magnet of fluid dynamics? Is it Cedric? Cedric, do you attract fluid dynamics like a magnet attracts iron? Iron. Iron. Iron is one of the acceptable metals for your cauldrons, by the way. What is not an acceptable metal? Copper, brass. No copper cauldrons, no brass cauldrons are allowed. Wood cauldrons are allowed, but they are not effective. Not effective, but permissible. E5. Means they've got 5 ears, Sarah. Anybody who's an E5 is somebody who has 5 ears. 2 on the head, 1 on each butt cheek, and 1 right in the solar plexus is an ear. Don't listen to Ethan, Sarah. Listen to me. I'm the guru. I'm the internet guru. Okay? E5 means somebody has 5 ears. One on each butt cheek and one right here, this solar plexus. I agree. That was a good one. It's the kind of barn rep that you can really write home a postcard about. No. E6 refers to Enneagram 6. It's different. It's just E5. It's weird. It goes E4 is Enneagram 4. E5 is 5 years. E6 is Enneagram 6. There is Enneagram 4.8 and Enneagram 5.2. Those are different. Just so everybody knows now. That's just a coincidence. It's true, but just a coincidence, Ethan. It just coincidentally happens to be so that all Enneagram 6 have 6 lights in their bedroom, but there appears to be no causal relationship whatsoever. Just completely random coincidence. Well, that's no excuse, Sarah. It's no excuse for being wrong about Enneagram types. Humor does not justify Enneagram wrongness. Believe me, it doesn't. I asked the Enneagram teacher. There are no end to the things you could use IQ tests for. You could use no end to the things you could use anything for. I mean, basically saying, yeah, but NE. Well, I mean, if I could NE anything, you have to make a case for why that thing is uniquely valuable to NE about over other things. You know? Yes, it does. Only if you admit you're wrong afterwards. Yes, what does? I think my mom is a 6. No, E5 means Enneagram 5. Are you sure? Are you sure, Cedric? That seems to disagree with something I said. But in case you've forgotten, I'm the internet guru. That's why I have 13 people here. Okay? 13. That makes me a pretty important guru. So, I hope I didn't just break off something really important. No, I'm breaking off my toenails is what I'm breaking off. No. No. I'm not picking at that. I'm picking at my toenails. We are having a coven right now. Oh, our coven is complete. We have a baker's coven. Hi, Raphael Breno. We're having a baker's coven right now. I believe you're supposed to be checking cauldrons for excessive copper content right now. Because I don't know if you've been looking at Zaylen Black's cauldron, but it's kind of looking like it's catching on fire. I'm being subtle, Hambone. I'm telling you, you better go check on that shit. I don't understand why you're having. Yeah. Oh my god. All right, look, what I'm saying is, April, put your goddamn cauldron out. Oh fuck. You guys, this is why we can't have nice cauldrons. This is why, April, you and your TE Polar. You bring your TE Polar in here, and all of a sudden, Rachel Lapalosa, my own girlfriend. How much bronze is there in that cauldron, Rachel? We've talked about this before. Now we've got 14 in here. There goes the coven. There goes the coven. God damn it. We were so close. Well, Angin's here. It's not gonna do. Oh, there we go. Back to coven. Everybody get back in line. Everybody get back in the circle. Come on. We're back to 13. Okay, now quickly. Everyone start doing your witch cauldron stuff. Jade. Okay. Jade, is Jade okay, Hambone? No, it's not. We should talk. I'm sorry. That's my fault. That's my fault. Don't blame Rachel. No, don't leave. Oh, we're down to 12. We're just down to a regular coven. We need a baker's coven. Won't do any good to have a regular coven. Now we're just wasting our time. We're just going to end up making bagels. There's nothing magic about that. It's not even magical. Oh, is that fight on tonight? What time is that fight on? I would like to see that fight, actually. Okay, only as talisman. Cool. Here, Rachel, you can use my spare cast iron cauldron. It's fine. No, I brought one for you. I knew you were going to mess this up somehow. It's fine. I brought one for you. Thank you for appreciating it. I love you too. Anyway, let's go ahead and make bagels while there's only 12 of us here. Everyone chip into the bagel pot in the middle. Some bagel dough. We're making bagels. And Rachel, good idea. Rachel's got cream cheese. Look at that. Thank you, Rachel. Appreciate it. When the bagels are done, hopefully they'll be done before the 13th person shows up. We just got to give them about, 6 more minutes, I think. It'll be fine. Unfortunately, if the 13th person arrives before we finish the bagels, then it's going to ruin the whole recipe. So hopefully, fingers crossed, but you stay stable, everybody. We got to keep 12 here to complete this bagel recipe. We'll get 6 points if we can complete the bagel recipe. We've got to get to, I think, about like 115 without changing that number from 12. We have to keep that right at 12, okay? So we got to hope that in the next... Oh, no! The bagels are ruined. The bagels have been ruined. Oh, God. We can't make bagels anymore. We only have 11 people. What can we make with 11 people? Lords of Leaping? I think we can make 11 Lords of Leaping. Is that right? Can somebody check? What can we make when it's 11? I think it's Lords of Leaping. We can get started on that. I think that's just like, we can play Duck Duck Goose. Oh, well, all right. We can play Count to 10. You guys remember Count to 10? The game that Countess hated me for? Oh, that's funny. I think, we're back to 12. We're back to bagel making. Hambone remembers Count to 10. Hambone screams no. Count to 10 was quite awful. You want to see like a group of people collapse into a puddle of mush. Try to get a live stream to play Count to 10. Oh my goodness. Oh, here comes my dad. Come on in, Dad. Oh, it's Cameron. It's not my dad. It's Cameron. I forgot Cameron was coming over.
Son, let me show you. I'm going to want you to move these paper towels and.
No paper towels. Cameron's here. You know what this live stream titled, Cameron?
What's it titled? Hello, folks at home.
It's titled "The Waiting for Cameron Live Stream."
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Waiting for Cameron, and how many weeds does he have?
How many weeds does Cameron have? It's a good question.
Yes. How many weeds does Cameron, folks at home?
Let's find out. So that's Cameron. He is also sometimes known as my ISTJ friend Cameron, who we like to put the type first before people's names.
Indeed. I was just doing woodworking for the past couple days, ISTJ style.
Woodworking.
Yep. Working that wood.
You've been working that wood. Okay, so what did you work out of the wood?
I had to chisel the wood to fit hinges and stuff in a friend's house they're going to rent up in Altadena. So I spent like 15, 16 hours just like redoing messed up window hinges and then those bolt things, surface bolts that lock them in and stuff like that. Learning stuff I've never done before. Did a good job.
I'm sure you did, Cameron. I do not doubt it. I'm sure you did a great job.
You know, I stressed about doing a good job and was like, oh no, what if I fuck this up? So I was looking up YouTube how to do it. There was no video of how to do what I had to do. I figured it out myself anyway.
Did you use that tool function TE?
Totally.
Righteous. Gotta love that tool function TE.
Totally. Do you have a tan, Eric? Are you a little tan?
Am I?
I don't know. Are you darker than normal? Possibly just slightly?
Maybe.
You might have gone to a tropical location recently.
I did go to a tropical location recently. I went to Hawaii. Now, I think I have in here somewhere a bag that has stuff for you in it.
Oh my God, your dad already hooked me up with like 2 Hawaiian shirts.
Okay, maybe he took the bag out of here a year or two.
Oh yeah, and chocolate macadamia nuts.
Okay, so yeah, he must have taken the bag. Okay, good.
Thank you, the both of you. They were super awesome. I will be wearing those shirts as soon as I get them out of the laundry.
Did I go out?
Disappointing 2 or 3 weeds today. Is this 3 weeds only?
There's 3 weeds. Okay, well, I have 1 weed.
Do you want to try the SFVOG, the super glue, or the papaya?
Super glue.
Bam.
Here's that. That's $100 OG.
100. Oh, gee. Hey, did you know? Did you go buy trees are
Yeah, I did. Note, however, that Weed Mart is still open.
Weed Mart being the one where?
Just down the street.
The guys 2 doors down were just like, oh, come in here, my friend. And they just, like, literally 2 doors down, they just sold me some weed last night.
Really?
Yeah. They're like, oh, you're going? Yeah, come on in. I was wondering if they were going to rob me, but I'm like, I'd probably take these few guys unless they have a gun. But they closed the door, and I'm like, shady dudes, never met, just random shady dudes, whatever,
Well, they didn't rob you.
Didn't get robbed, and I had fucking a bunch of money from getting paid for this job. I had like $900 in my pocket, but whatever.
Did they make sensual love to you?
Just to my nasal passages. Well, no, they had like 4 weeds or something. It was the most like back of a truck type of situation ever. Or like just a random storefront. They're like, oh yeah, we'll sell some weed to dudes. Sure. Can I borrow your little grinding thing?
Yeah, sure. This is the super glue I'm trying here.
Did you do like activities in Hawaii, or just like got your love on?
Well, yes, of course we did that, but we also did some activities. We got pictures in a number of different locations. Quite a few pictures.
Check any videos for the channel? Was that a part of it? Or?
Yeah, I got videos too. I just haven't done any work with any of the stuff yet. Yeah, well, this is bomb. Yeah. Did Cameron? You mean my dad? Okay, so in a little bit, I'm hoping Cameron and I will go outside. We're going to probably end this live stream, and then we go outside, and I'd like to look at the bees with you, Cameron.
Totally. Because
I have a dream. And it's a dream that thus far I've been able to make no progress on. I thought I'd consult you, see what your thoughts are about my dream. I'll tell you a little bit about my dream right now. My dream is to find something to poke into a beehive to get some honey on the end of it and pull it out and be able to taste the honey.
Ooh. Ooh, all we need to do is wrap ourselves in a tarp and just have an eyeball socket, and then you can just mess with it. But
let's look at it first.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Let's go look at it. And get
you know that I happen to have. It's funny. You know, you mentioned the bees. I thought you wanted to like get the queen and become a beekeeper because I have like this teacher I sub for, and her son is a beekeeper, and so like the other day I almost had him at Kara's property to get free bees because they like colonized this. Well, someone felled a tree, right? But there was a beehive in it. So I called her up. I'm like, Maggie Moore, tell your son to come out and get some free bees. But I actually sort of have a connection to the bee business.
The bee
if I ever needed to ask a question or something.
Use smoke to comb the bees? Okay, I'll use smoke to comb the bees.
Okay, 2 joints. You have to use those free joints from the collector.
Right, that's a good idea right there.
Just be smoking joints. Maybe, hey, we could do a scientific experiment and see if they like Marlboro or stankweed, or if they hate Marlboro or stankweed more.
Now here's the thing. Here is the thing. This beehive is very conveniently located at about waist height. But you know, it's in a knot of a tree.
Totally.
And I've tried to poke some things into there already. Rachel has seen me try to poke some things into this thing before. And I got chased by a bee at one point. It chased me away. I don't want to harm the hive. I don't want to damage the queen or anything like that
Mm-hmm.
I just want to.
What's the smallest camera you have? What's like the tiny? Do you have a tiny camera you can get inside of that mofo with a tiny light and tiny? You know those inspection either for the butthole or the plumbing. Little inspection camera. You could like really see what's going on and think like, well, I don't know. We'll see it.
Well, here's the thing. I know they're honeybees because, first of all, when you stand close to the tree from certain sides, you can smell the honey. Just smells thick as honey. And they're definitely honeybees because they're doing honeybee stuff all the time and they're making honey, obviously.
They go to the flowers and get the honey ingredients.
Yeah.
Go back and deposit the honey ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
Do it again.
You can just see the whole thing going on in front of you. And I just want to taste a little bit of that honey. That's all. Perfectly reasonable thing to want in life.
We'll call you the badger or the bear.
I don't want to steal all their honey. I don't want to hurt those bees.
Yeah.
I just want just a little dab of honey. That's all.
I'm with you.
Just a little dab of honey will do me just fine.
I wonder if like it's like you could have a tap going. You drill like an 8-inch hole through the tree, and you could have your very own,
Okay,
faucet of honey.
Now here's the thing. It's the neighbor's tree. So
then you can't harm your own stuff. It's perfect.
We can't go drilling into the tree. But regardless, the important thing is I want to make sure that I get to taste one small taste. Nut up and stick a straw in there. How about I've tried to stick like a wire hanger that's been undone into there to try to poke at some honey. I haven't been able to poke any honey with it yet. But I must be coming at it from the wrong angle. So I'm going to see if Cameron thinks looking at it. We're going to just sort of walk over.
I was thinking wire coat hanger myself, actually. But sometimes you shape it right, or you get like an ice cream spoon on the end of it or something. Now that'll probably end up in the hive. Maybe we get the end of the wire coat hanger and create some little sort of like a round thing that'll just sort of like want to bring stuff with it.
Right. I mean,
make a spoon end.
Well, we'll go look at it. So anyway, I think I'm going to draw this live stream to a conclusion so Cameron and I can go look at this wonderful honey producing opportunity called the neighbor's beehive. And and just sort of do a little brainstorming about how to successfully get honey from this without really hurting the hive, the bees, the queen, without disturbing the neighbor's property, except for maybe a little bit, just poke it a little bit or something, not, and not get stung and all that kind of stuff. If we can accomplish all this, if it's even possible, well, we're just going to have Cameron take a look at it and do a little brainstorming. That's all. We're not going to rush in any kind of action or anything. We just do a little assessment. It may be the case that later on tonight, I will come back with an update or covered in bee stings as occurs, Thanks for being here. Don't forget to eat plenty of cheese. And if you do have cheese tonight, try it with a little honey. Dip it in a little bit of honey. Okay?
Don't forget tacos have cheese too.
And tacos.